to help them become better spellers and to improve their spelling and their writing is to use a word bank. So your teacher might decide to provide to you a word bank that is in this workbook. And it looks a little bit like this. So one of the things that you have access to is a bank of commonly misspelled words by 6th grade students. And so in the back of this workbook, we have a bank of words by each letter of the alphabet. And so as you're writing and you're looking at the work that you've done, if there's a word that you're not sure how to spell, you could consult the back of this workbook. You could consult the word bank. There's also a place in this word bank for you to add your own list of words that give you trouble sometimes, that you might want to, oh, look, there's lots of words for C, that you might want to keep track of and kind of make a mental note. Like for myself, I always, and I don't know why, but I always mess up the spelling of weird. And so I might go back into the W's in this word bank or just make a list in my notebook and jot that word down under the W section. If you do not have access to this word bank, because not every kid is going to get their own copy, it's something that you can use and you can borrow, you can certainly create your own list in the workbook section of your notebook. And so that might look like turning to a clean page, and you could just call this a word bank. And in that word bank, as you are noticing that there are words that you have trouble spelling or words that you always find yourself having to look up, you could go ahead and jot that word down here. You could arrange it by letter if you want, alphabetical order, or you could just keep a running list of those common words that you know that you might be misspelling. If you have typed your draft, then what you're going to want to do is go to the tool at the top of the page and you're going to want to run a spell check. So anytime you have misspelled a word, there will be like a red squiggly line underneath it, and that lets you know that your spelling is incorrect and that you're going to need to go back and fix that. I would also encourage you not to rely solely on spell check. There are lots of times where spell check does not pick up the word that you have misspelled. For myself, I can tell you I do this a lot in typing. So sometimes instead of, I know this is blurry, sorry. Sometimes instead of typing the word from, F-R-O-M, I type the word form, F-O-R-M, and because that is a correct word, spell check does not pick it up. So you're going to want to run a spell check today if you have typed yours, and you're also going to want to go back through and read each word carefully to make sure that you have used the right word. My biggest suggestion for you, and it's going to feel weird, is that you read your draft backwards. Start with the last word and read it that way until you get to the first word, because that will force you to look at each word individually instead of your brain automatically filling in what word you think goes next. So during your writing time today, your goal is just to focus on spelling, whether it's adding words to your word bank in your notebook to keep track of future words, or running your spell check and rereading your draft backwards and looking for places where you have misspelled any words. And then go ahead and make sure that you fix those words and edit those in your draft.